Welcome in, everybody, to another edition of the Coach Shinnick Show. I'm Will Kennedy. This is Coach Pete Shinnick, head coach, football coach at the University of West Florida. We're on the road again, Clinton, Mississippi this week after a couple weeks at home. It was homecoming over here for the Choctaws, and it was a heck of a football game for the first half. We'll let everybody know you get your win, 7-1 now in the season, 4-1 in conference play, 63-28 the final score. Really, and I know we've said this before, tale of two different games within a game.
Yeah, and I think credit Mississippi College. I thought, everything they tried offensively in the first half worked. And I just looking at it and talking to Coach Julian, just felt like we were really close, but obviously they were getting plays. We had 1 3 and out on offense, and then we got the ball with 43 seconds left and tried to get it down there. But we knew, we needed to stop on defense, and obviously got that the first drive, and then our offense went right down and scored, and then we got another one, and then it was game on, and we got them behind the 8 ball a little bit, and that's what you got to do to an option team.
Dive into the first half highlights. You guys get the football to start the game. You drive right down the field, cap it off with a short Shamari Mason touchdown run. Your defense comes out and gets that 3 and out on the first possession for Mississippi College. The offense was really unstoppable in the first half, and we've been asking week in and week out, who's going to step up, who's going to be the guy. Larry Rembert had a heck of a night tonight as well.
Oh my goodness, Larry was all over the place. 3 amazing catches that I can think of off the top of my head, plus just some great ones, to counter that as well. So, we are blessed to have the receivers that we do. I mean, Rodney Coates had the stomach flu, so he was a little out of it. David Durden's not here, and looked like they were a little more conscientious of where Jared was, so. Here comes Larry, and we move right down the field.
Austin was razor sharp, completing about 70% of his passes for most of the game. Found Karan Ashley for a touchdown in the first half as well. Mentioned Rembert getting in there and scoring some touchdowns. But on the other side of the ball, they were able to do the things that kind of worry you from them. Yeah. Stay on the field, keep drives alive with 3rd down plays and 4th down plays, and really that option's tough to play against.
Well, it is, and it's brutal. And again, if you're off just a little bit, there's going to be a 5-yard gain turns into a 10-yard gain. I think what you saw in the first half was us just not being in the right spot and not getting done what we needed to, and we had a couple of 3rd downs that I thought we could have gotten, but I think that's part of the option. And I mean, the beauty of it is our offense was scoring, so it was a score-for-score game in the first half. And then when we got to the second half, it was a whole different story.
They would go, 7-minute drive, 13, 15 plays. You guys would score. There were a couple drives tonight under 2 minutes. Several, I think, 3 or 4.
Yeah, no, I mean, we were clicking. We really were. And Austin does a phenomenal job of just running our offense. And our offense goes through the quarterback, and he's got to determine whether to hand it off, whether to throw it. We try to give him as many pass combinations as we can so that he can read the field. And he's as good as I've seen just being able to say, should I hand the ball off or shouldn't I? And when we handed it off, we got great yardage. And when we threw it, we got great yardage.
28-28 at the half, and the fun was just beginning, at least if you were an Argo fan. We'll take a break, and we'll come back, and we'll dive into what was really maybe the best second half I've seen in a long, long time from a football team, right here on the Coach Shinnick Show.
Real change occurs in that split second, a moment of connection among people.
With a common purpose,
a shared vision,
and a unified goal. What will you change?
What will change you? The University of West Florida. No limits.
what does Argo spirit look like? Is it finding the perfect Argo outfit to show your team pride? Is it giving back while getting your pre-game grub? Or is it connecting with your community in the perfect spot? At Penn Air Federal Credit Union, it's being a proud sponsor of UWF Education, the Alumni Association, athletics, Penn Air Field, and having a spirit of communerosity. Learn more at pennair.org/aboutus.
For those who measure success by the worn tread on their tires, and those who strengthen their body and mind and drift through their weekends over nature's current. News Institute, for those who move.
Hello, I'm Zach Pullman. I'm a graduate assistant here at the University of West Florida, and I work in athletic communications. When I found out that I received the Bright Future Scholarship, I knew this would take a burden off of my family and kind of help me through college. Given the opportunity to pay for my complete undergraduate degree, I did not have to worry about student debt, so I was able to continue my journey of education. Just want to thank the Florida Lottery for not only helping me through my college journey, but countless others in the state of Florida and all they do to help education within the state.
Welcome back into the Coach Shinnick Show. Clinton, Mississippi is the spot. Argos coming off another win and 2 games left in the regular season. Now this one in the second half, you come out 28-28. They're getting the ball to start. We didn't get the coin flip again, so we're on the reverse streak of that. You know your defense needs to get a stop. They do. You get the football, you drive down, you're able to put it right into the end zone and score a touchdown with Shamari Mason, who had a heck of a night.
Yeah, Shamari ran the ball incredibly well, and I think he's been one of the best backs in the conference all season long. He's averaging about 8 yards a touch, and in the first half, we obviously threw the ball pretty well, but he found ways. But in the second half, he just exploded.
He came to play. Your defense gets it done again. They're starting to really get kind of dialed in. They would force some turnovers in the second half and definitely put Mississippi College in situations they didn't want to be in. Then you get a drive where you're moving along, and then all of a sudden a couple incompletions, and it's fourth down. You're out, about the 40, Mississippi College 40, and you decide to go for it. Just that kind of confidence in your offense, because it's another strike and it's a heck of a play between Austin Reed and Larry Rember.
It was, and what they did is I felt like, and the reason I went for it was because I felt like this was their chance to get the ball back. They had gone man and try to smother us, and we missed on a ball over here to Winston. Might be the only pass I think that Austin threw that wasn't perfect. And I was just like, man, I think we're really close. So I called that route to Larry, and then called another route over here to Winston to give him a little cleaner look. Austin read it perfectly, and Larry ran right by the guy. And if you're going to play us in man, one of our guys is going to find a way to get open.
Larry Rember with 3 touchdowns of the night. Defense comes up with another stop. You get another possession, this time starting deep in your own end of the field. I think you got to go 92 yards, which no problem. You guys have done that a bunch of times. Shamari Mason just gets loose. I think he puts 88 of the 92 yards together, caps a drive, but has a 69-yard run in there. It doesn't score, but it was a beauty to watch.
Man, I'll tell you, I was watching it, and I was just amazed because I thought he was tackled 3 times. And then all of a sudden he's 15 yards down the field, then he's 30 yards down the field, then he's 50 yards down the field. I'm like, oh my goodness, he's still going. And I think half our sideline was just kind of amazed at that. It was a long run, so we tend to sub him out after the long run. And we put Ant Johnson in for a play, but one of their players got injured. I was like, hey man, get back in there because you're rolling. Let's go. This is your time.
I thought, defensively, you start getting guys step up and come up with plays, and they're really getting involved. And we could call all kinds of names, but Puda Walker to Key Wetzel to DeMarco Artis, they were all big tonight. Offense keeps going. You got Zach Offord involved. All of a sudden, you got guys rotating in. In the end, you got Javon Newton and Anthony. I mean, it doesn't matter who you put out there. They want the opportunity, and they're looking to score.
Well, really, we had a great conversation with our second offense after last week because they got 3 opportunities. We punted 3 times, and it was like, look, man, when you get in, you got to take advantage of this. We got to keep rolling, and I mean that's exactly what they did. I felt like the second drive was a little hiccup here. We missed one that we were close on, but with that being said, really proud of how our second offense played. And you're right, whether it's Javon Newton, whether it's Zach Offord, Winston Sweeting. I mean, we just got some guys that are going to step up and make plays.
Both sides of the ball, really. Second half, I thought dominant performance, and really, is that where you want to be this time of year? Do you kind of bottle that, take that into these last 2 weeks?
Most definitely. And, you mentioned the defense, and I mean, DeMarco Artis, that sack was huge. That probably gave us as much energy as anything. The 2 turnovers, in the second half were huge. I mean, that was fantastic to be able to get the ball back the way we did. Really proud of just our guys stepping up. But, yeah, I mean, this is the momentum we got to carry. This is the feeling we got to carry. We got to take this into West Alabama. They're playing good football right now, but I like how we're playing and excited for the opportunity.
Bring this with us to Livingston next week. That's where we'll be the next game. Coach will be back a little bit later in the show to break down that matchup with the Tigers coming up. And coming up next year on the program, Maya will take us through some of the other fall sports. By the way, volleyball, a couple more wins this weekend, 27-1 as we're taping this. They are rolling along. Maya has all that next on the Coach Shinnick Show.
What does Argo Spirit look like? Is it finding the perfect Argo outfit to show your team pride? Is it giving back while getting your pre-game grub? Or is it connecting with your community in the perfect spot? At Penn Air Federal Credit Union, it's being a proud sponsor of UWF Education, the Alumni Association, athletics, Penn Air Field, and having a spirit of communerosity. Learn more at pennair.org/aboutus.
Real change occurs in that split second, a moment of connection among people.
With a common purpose,
a shared vision,
and a unified goal. What will you change?
What will change you? The University of West Florida. No limits.
Look at that. That's called a takes two hands burger. Fresh 100% beef stacked high with melted cheese, hand-chopped veggies, and everything else you could possibly ask for. Yep, that's your Whataburger, made exactly the way you want it. Because sometimes, you gotta take matters into your own hands. What a burger, just like you like it.
For those who measure success by the worn tread on their tires, and those who strengthen their body and mind and drift through their weekends over nature's current. Andrews Institute, for those who move.
It was another busy week for UWF athletics. Will Breland won GSC Freshman of the Week for football. This weekend, volleyball was back in action at the UWF Fieldhouse. Friday night was senior night, and they swept Christian Brothers, and Sunday was the annual Packet Pink, where they raised over $7,000 for breast cancer awareness. Varicia Yan was named GSC Offensive Player of the Week. This weekend, volleyball moved up to number 7 in the coaches poll. Here's Coach Walter to recap the weekend.
Yeah, it was a great day today. Really excited to have a rowdy crowd and a lot of people in the gym, but especially to put on a really good performance and be able to raise some money for the fight against breast cancer. Maddie and V both stepped up. They did a great job kind of just anchoring that offense, and we found some things that were working, and I think our girls were smart enough not to go away from that. So I'm proud of those two, especially for carrying the offensive side of things tonight. Honestly, I think this is what it's all about, being in a position where you can start playing your best ball of the year as you go into postseason, and we're not on our best ball yet, so that's the exciting part about where we are, but certainly excited about what we've done and what we have our sights on going out to do.
This weekend, volleyball will be back on the road against Mississippi College in West Alabama. Women's soccer traveled to Mississippi and played Delta State on Friday, and the game ended in a draw. On Sunday, the team beat Mississippi College 3-0. Brianna Pope scored 2 goals, and defender Kylie Whitehead scored 1 goal. Men's soccer was also in Mississippi, and they defeated Delta State 2-1 on Friday, and Mississippi College 1-0 on Sunday. Kynan DeSanto scored the Argos' lone goal. Both men and women's soccer are back in action this Thursday against Spring Hill in Mobile. On Sunday, the GSC soccer tournament will start and both teams will be playing. Check GoArgos.com to see who they're playing. Swimming and diving went 2-1 at their quad meet against Florida State, North Florida, and Florida Southern College. Ester Rizzetto came in first in the 100 free. We'll talk to her in the next part of the show. Both men and women's cross country will travel down to St. Leo for the NCAA Regional meet. For the latest information on UWF athletics, check GoArgos.com or visit GoArgos on Instagram and Twitter. We'll be back with Ester Rizzetto in just a minute.
What does Argo spirit look like? Is it finding the perfect Argo outfit to show your team pride? Is it giving back while getting your pre-game grub? Or is it connecting with your community in the perfect spot? At Penn Air Federal Credit Union, it's being a proud sponsor of UWF Education, the Alumni Association, athletics, Penn Air Field, and having a spirit of communerosity. Learn more at pennair.org/aboutus.
Real change occurs in that split second, a moment of connection among people.
with a common purpose,
a shared vision,
and a unified goal. What will you change?
What will change you? The University of West Florida. No limits.
For those who measure success by the worn tread on their tires, and those who strengthen their body and mind and drift through their weekends over nature's current. Andrews Institute, for those who move.
Hello, I'm Zach Pullman. I'm a graduate assistant here at the University of West Florida, and I work in athletic communications. When I found out that I received the Bright Future Scholarship, I knew this would take a burden off of my family and kind of help me through college. Given the opportunity to pay for my complete undergraduate degree, I did not have to worry about student debt, so I was able to continue my journey of education. Just want to thank the Florida Lottery for not only helping me through my college journey, but countless others in the state of Florida and all they do to help education within the state.
Look at that. That's called a takes two hands burger. Fresh 100% beef stacked high with melted cheese, hand-chopped veggies, and everything else you could possibly ask for. Yep, that's your Whataburger, made exactly the way you want it. Because sometimes, you gotta take matters into your own hands. What a burger, just like you like it.
We're here with Ester Rizzetto from swimming. Esther, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. So the season has already started. So far, how are you feeling about the season and just where you're at individually?
We didn't have many dual meets so far because 2 of them got canceled, unfortunately. But I think I personally am doing well so far. I'm pretty happy with the times I went. I think as a team, we're doing pretty good as well.
So you are originally from Frankfurt, Germany. So what was the process like coming from Germany to the United States to go to school?
I basically paid an agency that got me in contact with a lot of schools, and then I got in contact with the old head coach, and then we just talked, and he showed me how it looks everything here, and that we're close to the beach. And then at one certain point, I just decided to come here. But I knew there were a lot of cultural differences. I didn't know if I could get along with them. I think I am doing pretty well so far. No.
So besides the cultural differences, what was one of the hardest barriers coming over to the United States and adjusting to a new country?
The language. I personally thought my English was pretty bad when I got here. All my teammates said no, like I didn't have any issues, but definitely the language and being away from my family.
So you have a twin sister and she also swims. So is swimming, does it run in the family for you guys?
No, my parents never swam competitively. It's just me and my sister. My brother doesn't swim competitively either, so it's just me and my sister.
So having your sister kind of going through the same thing just at a different school, did that help you kind of adjusting to being in the United States?
It did. I decided on purpose that I did not want to go to the same school as her because I wanted to be my own self, be my own individual, because usually we were just seen as the twins, so I just wanted to see as me and not as just one of a pair. It definitely helped a lot. It definitely decreased the amount of comparison we're doing and being less compared by others just because they don't know the other person.
So what is it that you enjoy most about swimming?
The racing. Gotta admit, it's not the practicing. It's the racing at meets, and then the feeling when you drop time to know that the hard work finally paid off.
So you guys practice really early in the morning. So how do you stay disciplined throughout the course of the season to just keep getting up, going to practice, and performing at your best at each meet?
I have to admit, I like practicing early in the morning just because it helps me having a schedule. Like I go to bed relatively early, I guess. And that early in the morning, if I wouldn't have swim, I would probably sleep anyway. So it's not time I'm missing. I just use that morning time to work out, so I don't have to do everything in the afternoon. So it helps with like working or my class schedule a lot, and then just having good time management helps a lot.
So out the course of your career here at UWF, you have done very well. In the record books, you are at the top of a lot of the records. So how does it feel to know that you're really leaving your mark at UWF?
It feels pretty good. I hope I can give future swimmers to come or my other teammates some motivation, maybe to break my times, I hope. I just think it's good to have like a standard, I guess, and they can look up to. I hope that's what I am representing. It just feels good because people know who you are, I guess, and they respect you for who you are.
So last question, what advice would you give to anyone who is looking to get started with swimming?
Try to get to know the coaches and people from the team, and don't be afraid to ask questions. I knew when I came here, I asked a lot of questions before I got here, but then I realized after I got here that I didn't ask enough questions. There were many things I just didn't know until I got here, and it would be stupid, I guess, to go into like a new life, college life, in blind without really knowing what's going on. So I would just say, don't be afraid to ask questions, don't feel uncomfortable, like don't be afraid that you annoy people from the team if you keep asking questions, because that is never the case.
Esther, thank you so much. Good luck the rest of the season. We'll be right back with the rest of the Coach Shinnick Show.
Real change occurs in that split second, a moment of connection among people.
With a common purpose,
a shared vision,
and a unified goal. What will you change?
What will change you? The University of West Florida. No limits.
What does Argos spirit look like? Is it finding the perfect Argo outfit to show your team pride? Is it giving back while getting your pre-game grub? Or is it connecting with your community in the perfect spot? At Penn Air Federal Credit Union, it's being a proud sponsor of UWF Education, the Alumni Association, athletics, Penn Air Field, and having a spirit of communerosity. Learn more at pennair.org/aboutus.
Look at that. Your Whataburger, made exactly the way you want it. Because sometimes you gotta take matters into your own hands. What a burger, just like you like it.
For those who measure success by the worn tread on their tires, and those who strengthen their body and mind and drift through their weekends over nature's current. Andrews Institute, for those who move.
Welcome back into the Coach Shinnick Show. It's time to preview the next opponent. Coach Shinnick is back with us. West Al this week. West Alabama up in Livingston, Alabama. Always a tough task. And they've been good this year, coming in 6-2, 4-2 in conference. Did have a couple hiccups in recent weeks. They lost back-to-back games. They got back on track with a win over North Greenville last week.
Yeah, they're playing really well, and, their losses could easily, a couple plays here and there. That's what the Gulf South Conference is. It's competitive every week. You've got to show up with your A game and find a way to make it work, and they've been really good, so we know we've got our hands full.
Common opponents, there's plenty of them. They got a win over West Georgia by 18 points and then slipped up recently against Delta State and a contentious finish in that game. What do we expect from the Tigers? They've got a quarterback, one of our favorite names in the GSC, Jack McDaniels. He's been around a little while. He's having a heck of a season.
He is. Jack's very accurate. I think he's gotten better since we saw him in 2019. He had a really good game against us then. He had a really good season as well. And then they've always been very good with the run game. I think their O-line does a great job with their fits, creating creating gaps. So offensively, I think they're one of the top 3 in the conference, scoring points, getting yards. And then defensively, always extremely sound. Their D-line may be as good as there is in the conference, and very difficult to run the ball on them. And they're long and athletic, kind of like Delta State in the secondary. So we feel like we've got to be, dialed in on offense to be able to move the ball.
One of the things that they do defensively, the numbers don't lie, is they're very stingy against the run. Do you look to try to run the football against them, or do you say, hey, okay, our passing is what we do well?
Well, I think our strength obviously is throwing the ball, and we've been able to do that. But you always got to find a way to run. You can't be one-dimensional. I think with their defensive line and linebackers, very similar to what we saw at McNeese and Commerce, very athletic guys. So we'll pick and choose our times to do that. Our philosophy is take what the defense gives us. So we're gonna go into it, trying to get a feel for how they're going to play us, what it's going to look like. Got to find a way to run it though, in order to maintain the time of possession, to keep the ball from our defense.
For the fans out there in Argo Nation, is there somebody that you can compare them to offensively that we've played already?
Yeah, I think they're similar to West Georgia, and they probably run the ball a little better than West Georgia does. They do a really good job, going deep. They've got one wide receiver that's probably at the top of yards per catch in the conference. So I think that's probably a pretty good comparison.
I think he is. You're very good. You're on top of your stats there, Coach. This is huge, obviously, with 2 weeks left in the regular season. You're right where you want to be. We kind of been talking about that the last few weeks. To go to Livingston's always a tough task, but everybody seems like they're locked in. Again, we talked earlier in the show about keeping that momentum going out of Clinton and keeping it going on the road.
Yeah, and that's been kind of our players so far, coming back from the Mississippi College game and leading up to, this week. It's like, hey, we're in a good place. Let's keep the momentum going from what we had in the second half. Let's continue to play that way. Again, there's a lot of confidence and a lot of belief, knowing that, if we play our best, we can play with anybody. Feel like we've shown signs of that. And again, I think that's one of the best second halves we've ever had on both sides of the ball. So excited to be able to build on that and excited to be able to take that on the road.
Kind of a rivalry thing, obviously, Livingston being not too far away, and West Dow, they got their backs against the wall. They've got to win this game if they want to make it into the playoffs. Will Breland got another freshman of the week from the GSC, so congrats to him. It's like third time now?
Yeah, no, Will's playing extremely well, finding a way to get around the ball, finding a way to make tackles. Very excited for him, and he's got a very bright future for us.
And I feel like Shamari and Larry Rembert probably cost each other maybe a player of the week because they both just had sensational games. We didn't have the stats earlier in the show.
Right.
It was 183 yards, 3 touchdowns for Larry. Shamari ran for 172 and 3 touchdowns. Not a bad night's work from Clinton, Mississippi.
No, both those guys, and really disappointed one of them didn't get it. I think Larry's who we nominated and felt very good about that. Anytime a receiver averages 30 yards and has 3 touchdowns, that's a heck of a night.
Do it again on Saturday coming up. It is a 1 o'clock kick from Livingston, Alabama. We'll be on the radio with the pregame show at 12:30. GoArgos.com, always your spot for all the latest goings-on for UWF athletics and the Argo Armada app. You can keep track of Coach Shinnick and everybody else on social media and across all the different platforms and dive into rosters and all that good stuff. We will look forward to talking with you again next week after another, knock on wood, somewhere around here, Argos victory. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on the Coach Shinnick Show.